Hey guys, long time. Today I just wanted to do a quick reading of a story that I wrote. Um, just to do the first chapter. And yeah, if you guys want more, let me know. But we're gonna try the first chapter. And so yeah, it's called Diary of a Deadman. Introduction. I've been dead for as long as I can remember. It's a shame when you outlive yourself. Just a part of who I am now. I cease to exist, but yet I live on. Linger until the day death catches up with me. Until then, I wait patiently. If you're reading this, it's a good chance I'm already gone. I use the word gone because I can't very well use the word dead now, can I? Heaven and hell won't take me. Cursed as a demon to walk as an angel. Rest will not come to those with clipped wings. I've fallen from grace so far that the best I can hope for is to work my way back up to the devil. Everyone's life ends sooner or later. Just make sure you don't live long enough to see it. Chapter 1. Deja Vu. In this world of uncertainty, there's only one true certainty, and that is death. The truth that all things must end in life and love are merely distractions from the eventful fall we are destined to find. Sure, some may attempt to run, but she'll find you. Time always has an interesting way of catching up with you in the end. Being dead is an interesting feeling, something that I always assumed would be too difficult to describe to someone else, until I realized being dead is a pretty universal feeling. If I asked someone how it felt to be dead, many would question my own sanity, like I have many times before. However, there will be others, those with darkened eyes that know the truth, that know what being dead really entails. Death is merely a point in time when a person's life ends. The definition never states that the person has to stop breathing. The day I died was not the day my eyes darkened over, but rather the day that the spark that always seemed to ignite when I saw her face faded from my eyes. My heart did not stop working, but that day, ceased to beat faster whenever she was near to me. It was the day that I died, but lived on as a ghost of my former self. The person that I was can no longer be resuscitated, but merely lives on in a memory of who I once was. We think we're all the heroes of our own story, but it's only after you look back on your life and see everything you've burned along the way that you were supposed to save, that you realize you were the villain all along. This is not a story of heroism, not a story where the hero swoops in, saving the day from the villain, but rather a story where the two merge together as one. This is the story of a man masquerading as a god, wearing the face of a demon. The story of my descent into the role as the villain. But this was our story. It was always our story. Her ending was just a little bit before my own. This is the rest of our story as I live on as a phantom, waiting till we can be together again. Most stories follow a man through his life, but this one will follow mine to my death. The story starts about 4 years ago. 4 years after and before the beginning of the end, which just so happened to coincide in this instant. At this moment, time seemed too irrelevant to me, and yet the most important thing. I woke up every day realizing the day was not a new day, but rather a recycled day. I had lived before counting down until the day this whole cycle would start anew, and the cycle I was on would currently end, obliterating myself in the process. It was about 3 months since I saw her last. 3 months Samantha's jaw seemed to drop farther as she neared, and I saw her face again, a face I'd only remembered for so long. Sam, I said quickly. She smiled at me. Her golden blonde hair danced in the wind as she walked towards me. Her eyes, light blue against the slowly rising sun, pierced my own. Her smile was refreshing like the sun after a long night, and infectious as I felt my own lips curling into a mad grin. Good, so you remember me. I didn't overshoot. What day is it? It feels like Monday. Everyone has a sense of dread in their eyes, she said with her grin increasing, never taking her eyes off of me. I returned it, finally gaining some composure. But how? I could only manage to stutter. She grinned again as I felt my own smile increase. She was the only one that could surprise me, the only one that could make my jaw drop. Remember this, she said, holding up a small metal strap around her arm. I looked closer to see a small watch face with several dials and buttons surrounding it. I smiled as I recognized the small device. The wormhole generator, I said softly. 4th edition. This is its maiden voyage, and perhaps the last unless we can find a suitable power source. She said more to herself rather than to me. I knew she would never find that power source. She would spend the rest of her life searching, but to no avail. Thought I'd jump here and take it for a quick spin around the block. So what year is this? This must be, 4 years ago? I said quickly, looking back. She raised her eyebrow before giving me a playful look. No, this is 4 years later. Today is the present, just in my reality. You're ahead. We're on the right track. She gave me a grin that mirrored mine. The watch beeped once before I looked down quickly. Her grin quickly faded. Power source failing. We've got minutes, if not seconds, she said grimly, and looked up at me, studying my face. You're still doing your hair like that, after all this time. Have I ever told you that you look like a runner-up in a beauty pageant against a mob? Yes, several times. I finished with a wide grin. She returned the smile, one that made my heart skip a beat. It quickly fell as she looked closer in my eyes. What happened to you? You look different, something I can't quite put my finger on. But what happened? She asked, her expression failing again as she studied the features of my face. I couldn't blame her. 4 years ago I was an entirely different person. Everything changed when she passed. The entire world seemed to grow significantly darker that day. My life ended as of then. Nothing seemed the same. The world seemed to spin even slower. I couldn't even fathom it. A downward spiral began there. I couldn't believe she was gone. I couldn't grip the fact. But now she's here. My mind is a total blank. Part of me didn't even believe what I was seeing. I couldn't even speak. I could only grin like an idiot. As the love of my life standing in front of me after all this time. A lot has changed since we last spoke, I said softly. I knew my time was of the essence. The generator didn't have enough power to keep her there for very long. In a matter of seconds, she would jump back. Samantha raised an eyebrow in confusion for a moment before it slowly slid back into place as she realized what I meant. Her face fell as her eyes looked into mine. A feeling I had long forgotten quickly arose. Well, don't ruin any surprise.